Hello, boys and girls. You are listening to the Neu Daye Podcast. Don't you dare be sour. Clap for the greatest podcast team on this side of the lake and the world, and feel the power. What's up, Nathan?
Not too much. Just having a day off, doing some crap around the house, and now I'm sitting in a chair doing a podcast, so it's a good day.
What is this crap around the house?
I had to go and rake a bunch of leaves because it is the fall and leaves are falling all over the place. So that's what I was doing before getting on the air. So that was a lot of fun. Not really. It sucked.
I just got this image of you in like in a hoodie and sweats, just mad as hell at the leaves as you rake
Well,
them.
I am in a hoodie, but I am not wearing sweats. I do not wear sweats.
So what are you wearing?
At all.
Jeans?
Huh?
You wearing jeans?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, what's the temperature there?
It's in like the 40s right now.
Fucking A.
It's supposed to hit like the 50s this week, so but at the end of the month it's going to be like balls cold out, so it's not going to be fun.
I mean, 40, that's balls cold here. I mean, we're a very temperate state, man, and you know, we get the panicking when it gets around like 50, 45, so...
Well, you guys are babies, so...
No, it's just not what we're used to. I mean, I guess that half of us had come over from Minnesota, yeah, we'd be in fucking like, you know, this weather right now, which it isn't cold, it's actually kind of stuffy, but it's dark. I mean, it's gloomy and it's rainy and it's, you know, it's definitely like Netflix weather, if I were to... Or
WWE Network weather in my case. Plus, like, daylight savings time just happened.
Yeah.
So now it gets darker earlier, and I hate it.
What did you do for Halloween?
Went over to a buddy's house, watched Ring of Honor, and that was it.
No kids came for candy?
Well, I went over to my sister's house to visit my niece and my nephew because my niece hadn't seen me in a while, so I had to go do that. And then we handed out candy at her house as she took her kids trick-or-treating. And then came home, went to a buddy's house, watched Ring of Honor, and then came home and went to bed. I was going to review the show, but I was way too damn tired because by that time I had been up since 7:45 in the morning.
Did you dress up? Did you hand out candy?
No.
Why?
Because I got home from work and I couldn't think of anything to do last minute. So
just throw on some like white paint and put some blood around your mouth. Just something.
I'm ugly enough, so...
Oh, stop, dude. This is the scariest house we've been to. I could see you, like, just fucking with the kids, too. Like, act like you're going to give them the candy and be like, nah, I don't think so.
No, I'm not like that. We did encounter a major asshole, though, who fucking, like, took, like, most of the goddamn bowl of candy, though, so...
Really?
Fuck that kid wherever he is right now.
You had like a little Kevin Owens.
Something like that. I don't know.
Did he cut a promo?
No.
He cut a like I think I was listening to the Jim Ross report I think this was like last year, and he was talking about Halloween and how the kids were spoiled with candy, and I think the Jim Ross household had like just, you know, like simple candy, you know, some fucking just simple candy. And he's like, one kid walked up and he was like, y'all candy suck. And he was talking about how he proceeded to cut a promo on his wife about how the neighbors had like Snickers and Butterfingers and how that they needed to step up their candy game. For next Halloween. I just thought that was funny as hell. He's like, cut a promo. Well, anyway, I ended up doing like DJing, and that was pretty fun. It started off dead. Here in Greensboro, we have this thing called Carnival, the Castle Carnival or some shit like that, and it's basically like this big old like castle that's out in the woods. I think in High Point or just a city just outside of here. And it's like several thousand people show up to that. And there's like DJs and all the drugs you can fucking find and all the fucking hottest women dressed.
Yay, drugs.
And it was scantily clad. That's the word I want to use.
Scantily clad?
Scantily clad women just running around. And I haven't been able to make it to one. I've always wanted to DJ one, but I've never gotten the opportunity. They've never invited me.
Drugs and sluts sounds like a good idea.
Damn straight, man. I mean, if I wasn't working, I would have went. You know.
Yeah.
So I just ended up DJing. I mean, something weird happened. Something actually kind of crazy happened. But that's for the unleashed version of this podcast. But nevertheless,
well, I worked on Saturday morning, so Halloween morning, and the worst thing I did was I was pulling shit forward in the cooler, and a fucking jug of milk fell on the floor and exploded everywhere, so I had to mop the entire fucking floor because we had milk all over the place, so that was fun.
Well, mine ended up being like a girl in my booth kind of a story.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We don't need to go into that.
No. Again, that's the unleashed version of this podcast. But yeah, like it was dead downtown. I think we had something down the road that was pretty popping. But yeah, I mean, a weekend Halloween isn't really good for Greensboro because Chapel Hill is right up the road. They have an awesome Halloween. Raleigh is also up the road too, and they have an awesome Halloween. And if you live near like the east part of North Carolina, you can just go to Greenville. They have an awesome Halloween where the street is narrow, and so it's like just a good old time. So without further ado, man, let's go into our best and worst of the week.
All right. Trying to think of what even happened this week because
I'm going to ask you this question, bro.
No, I know, but like, okay, so my best would honestly be Raw from this last Monday. I thought it was really good. Honestly, I did.
Why you had to emphasize that?
Because normally when we talk about Raw, I'm just kind of glum and I haven't really been feeling it. But with this last week's Raw, I thought it was really good because of the fact that it had structure. When they came out for the beginning promo and they were talking about doing something, I figured, they're going to do a beat the clock challenge, which is something I do not want to see and something I always do not like. But they didn't do that, and they did a 4-person or like a mini tournament per se, where they had 4 matches, and the 4 winners of the tournament would go advance to a fatal 4-way. So I liked that aspect of the show. I thought it gave it a purpose and a reason to watch it versus other weeks, like probably tonight, when it's just going to be mindless entertainment for 3 hours with no structure, no continuity whatsoever. My worst of the week, God. Trying to think of something I didn't like.
You didn't like raking those leaves?
Well, yeah, that probably, but worst of the week for me was going over to my sister's house, like I mentioned earlier, and giving out candy to all the kids that go to their house because they've got like 200 kids that show up every damn year. It's like at our house, it's like there's only like maybe we get like 15, 16 kids a year, but there's like people get dropped off in this neighborhood. So
look at old man Neumann. I didn't want to give out candy to those pesky kids. Hey, get off my lawn. Old man Neumann in the house, man. What the hell is up with that?
I did make a joke about being Clint Eastwood for Halloween and sitting in a lawn chair with a gun.
What the hell is the name of that movie?
Huh?
What was the name of that movie?
I can't remember.
Yeah, but I know exactly this you're talking about. I just don't know the Unforgiven.
Gran Torino.
Yeah, that's it. I still ain't seen that movie. I just know
that movie's amazing.
It's
That's
just
like my dad's favorite movie, and I've seen it probably at least 20 times.
yeah, that's like me and my dad with Full Metal Jacket. That's his favorite movie of all time, and I see why, man. I mean, that's a great movie.
My favorite movie is a movie from before I was even born. My mom was 2 when this movie came out.
Little Mermaid.
No, Vertigo.
Oh, Vertigo. Oh, yeah. Well, the guy who did the artwork for that, yeah, that dude rules. Like it's like a 2D like color. I can't think of that person's name, but he did a whole bunch of stuff.
You're talking Vertigo?
Yeah.
No, Vertigo isn't.
No, I'm talking about the artwork. I'm talking about the artwork for the movie poster. The movie.
Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah.
I thought you meant like. I thought you were confusing it for like an anime movie or cartoon movie or something.
No. I'm just talking about the artwork. I mean, most cases when it comes to movies, like those old movies, I focus on how the artwork is for the poster and the original soundtrack. I couldn't tell you a lot about a lot of those movies, but I know the guy who did the artwork for Vertigo. Like I can't think of his name right now, but anytime he did a whole bunch of great stuff. Back in those days, and that was one of them that stand out. It was just basically a spiral. But anyway, never mind.
Yeah.
My best and worst of the week. I have a worst. It's football related. Steve Smith. I was watching football yesterday. Steve Smith, once of the Carolina Panthers. He's now with the Baltimore Ravens. This was his last year. And he already said he was going to retire, but yesterday he went down with an Achilles tail, ACL tear, which took him out for the rest of the season. So I think I saw his last play of his career, unless he decides he wants to come back and, like, I don't want to end it this way kind of a thing. But never.
He will, I guarantee you.
That sucks, man, because, like,
Brett Favre had the same thing happen to him when he was on the Vikings.
But he always promised retiring before he got injured.
Well, yeah, but like that whole he got hit and then like he decided not to retire because he's like I can't go out like that. So chances are that this guy will not retire in that fashion.
Oh, you talking about the hit when he's with Minnesota?
Yeah.
You talking about against the New Orleans Saints?
Yep.
Oh yeah, Favre Gate. Yeah, I remember seeing that game. You know what's funny? I was almost in tears when I saw that. I was at
look at you. I can't cry. So
no, dude. Like I hated watching that game. I was at this place called Suds and Duds. It's like it's a laundromat and bar. Get it, Suds and Duds. Well, anyway, like I remember just watching it and just seeing him just get manhandled. And I felt bad. I was like, yo, I don't want to see him like this. Like just picking himself off the ground and like just, But anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah. Maybe he will, maybe he won't, because everyone got injured yesterday. A lot of people got injured yesterday, but who's to say he's going to come back and get injured again, But nevertheless, I thought I saw his last play. What? Damn it, I always get stage fright with these fucking things, but my best...
It's your idea, come on.
I know.
Shoot with it, roll with it.
I would say my best is, oh my God. See, I knew the thing is I've been thinking about it all day. My best is, fuck it. I know what my best is. This is depressing. I've been thinking about it all day, and now I got to tell you, and now it stinks. Maybe I'll come back to it later. For now, I'm going to just say my best was making those T-shirts. Yes, that's it. Making those T-shirts. I did 50 shirts. I'm sitting on a one-color print at the house, and I had a friend that wanted me to do 50 T-shirts. I was sitting on it for a while, and I was kind of lollygagging. And when I finally done it, I saw that it could be a potential career change for me.
Nice.
And do designs at my house. I actually have a graphic designer and print up some T-shirts and use that to get people like bands or whoever, even flyers, to get some work. So that's my best of the weekend. The fact that I'm more serious about like my T-shirt printing career and going to take that and move forward. And speaking of moving forward,
very cool.
Yeah, man, it's pretty badass. Maybe we can make some New Day shirts.
Oh, yeah.
I need to make some Peter and Jake Talks wrestling shirts. Speaking of which, this is episode what? 15, yes.
15, yes.
Of the Neu Daye. All right, so moving forward, what do we say we're going to start off? We're going to start off with Hell in a Cell, huh?
Correct.
We haven't spoke since then. And just to let you guys know, listening, I normally don't do, I don't do Neu Daye Podcast because I always film myself live watching the pay-per-views that Sunday. So every Monday every Monday after a pay-per-view will not be a Neu Daye Podcast because I'm already doing video editing. So that's why there wasn't one last week. So right now we're just going to catch up on like the more bigger stories of Hell in a Cell that people have been talking about all week. And the one that people have been talking about the most is the Brock Lesnar versus Undertaker match, where the Undertaker goes down to a low blow, and the Wyatts show up and take his ass away. So and then there was some color and all this stuff. What did you think about the overall? And by the way, how many of your predictions did you get right? And then how did you feel about the actual pay-per-view overall?
Honestly, I can't remember what I said for predictions because we ran through them so fast.
That's it. Yeah, we did.
But so I'm not really sure.
I think we were kind of even neck to neck on a lot of them. But like the one, say take Owens versus Ryback, Kane versus Rollins, Cena versus whoever, and Brock.
Well, I got the Cena one wrong. I know that for sure. And I think I got Lesnar-Taker wrong as well. Because I think if I remember right, I said Lesnar was going to win.
Yeah, Lesnar won.
Or wait, no, I think I said Taker was going to win.
I said Taker was going to win. And I said that Cena...
Or no, okay, yeah, you're right. I said Lesnar was going to win. You said Taker was going to win.
Yeah, and I said Cena was going to retain, but he did not.
And you were wrong.
I was very wrong. And so, what are your thoughts on the overall, and then let's of the Hell in a Cell?
Overall, I thought it was a very good show. I thought it flowed nicely for once. One major issue I am running into with Hell in a Cell is that the match is pretty much meaningless nowadays because the last time it meant anything was WrestleMania 28. And ever since, like, okay, with Hell in a Cell, with the match type itself, I like to feel more organic. WrestleMania 28, I got that feeling. Plus, I was at the Raw Live where that match was announced, so that helped a lot. But the fact that there's a Hell in a Cell gimmick pay-per-view is something I've never been a fan of. I've never been a fan of gimmick pay-per-views in general because you know that in October you're going to get a Hell in a Cell match. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't matter how hot a feud is or how cold a feud is because they're going to stick it inside of a Hell in a Cell.
There's only one way to fix this.
Yeah.
The one to end this. Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, and there was two Hell in a Cell matches. One Hell in a Cell match was good, and it warranted being inside the structure, and I'm speaking of Brock Taker. The latter of the two matches, Bray Wyatt and Roman Reigns, had no business being inside Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, that could have been just a street fight.
They barely used the structure to their advantage.
It could have been just a street fight, and that's one of the things that I was even talking about. One of my biggest woes, complaints, or fears is that it was going to be just that. It was just it's going to be no blood. They're not going to use the cage, as a weapon. It's just like it really serves no purpose. Hell in a Cell is more like, it's not Hell in a Cell. It's like a fight in a cell. You know what I'm saying? Like that, and I knew that was going to happen, but I definitely questioned whether or not they were going to, be blood and all that for the Undertaker Brock Lesnar match, because I was like, it's two Hell in a Cells, and whatever major Hell in a Cell match we get is going to come from Brock and Taker. So the prior one, which was Bray Wyatt and Roman Reigns, was going to be very light. a very light version of Hell in a Cell. So I wasn't even looking forward to it. And honestly, I've seen them have brawls before. So it's not. I tuned in and out, honestly.
Yeah, that's same here. And it's like, okay, with their Hell in a Cell match, it felt to me like a tables match inside of Hell in a Cell. And I thought, it's like, okay, if you're going to have a Hell in a Cell match, do a Hell in a Cell match. That's perfectly fine, but use the structure and don't rely on weapons that don't need to be inside a Hell in a Cell. Because, like, a tables match, we're going to see a tables match at TLC.
Well, it's like a brawl.
Why bring it into Hell in a Cell?
It's funny. Did you say that? It was like a that's what it was. It wasn't a fight. It was like it wasn't a street fight in a cell. It was a TLC in a cell. That's exactly what it was.
Yeah, and it was dumb.
So you didn't enjoy that match at all? I mean, it's not that I didn't enjoy it. It's just that
I enjoyed it for what it was.
Uh-huh.
But it honestly, I expected more out of it. Mm-hmm. And I think it would have been a lot better had they not relied so much on weapons and just focused on using the actual structure. Because the structure did not come into play at all in their match. They didn't even use it once, to my knowledge.
I think there was one time it was used. I think it was one time. I know
there was one time, but that was it.
Yeah, that still was pretty shitty. It reminded me of when Cena and Rollins did their cage match at that in-house, Madison Square Garden.
Yeah,
and it was like one time it got used. They both slammed each other into it, and I think there was one point where Rollins had his face in the chains, but that was the extent of using the structure as a weapon. I was like, whatever.
But okay, there's a little bit of a difference here, and I'm not saying that I disagree with you, but I just want to make this point. It's like, okay, a cage match, if they don't use the cage, I'm fine with it, because the whole point of a cage is to keep you inside the ring.
Mm-hmm.
And with the Hell in a Cell, you can go outside the ring.
Yeah.
So to not go outside the ring and at least use the Hell in a Cell structure once or maybe twice is just dumb.
Yeah,
it's like there was, if you remember the end of an era Hell in a Cell match.
Yeah,
they didn't use the cage that much, but they didn't have to. With Roman and Bray, I expected them to use the cage, and I didn't get that from them.
But we can both agree on this. We both knew that Bray Wyatt was going to go down in flames. This guy,
if you thought that he was going to win, you're an idiot.
Yeah, and it's funny how he just no sold, just coming out to fuck up the Undertaker. Was it any other matches that stood out? Because that wasn't really. I mean, I thought that the New Day was going to lose because of the factor of Xavier Wood not being there. But they retained, and it's the end of that trombone. That trombone ain't never coming back.
Hell no.
Yeah. Owens versus Ryback, that stunk, dude. And it really, like, they're just two guys that shouldn't ever be in the ring together for nothing.
Yep.
The pre-show was actually pretty decent. I mean, it was fun to see those guys flying around. I really like that heel faction. But Rusev is out though.
Yep. I don't know if there's any rebuilding him either after he comes back.
Yeah. I mean, that was like his saving grace to be part of that 3-man squad. But it's official that Wade Barrett and Sheamus are an official tag team.
And that's okay. I said this last night on Eyes in the Ring. I'm okay with this team, partly because I like Wade Barrett, but the reason why I like this team is because it gives Sheamus something to do.
Yep.
Because when Sheamus is by himself, I could care less about him. Like, I honestly, he's just a placeholder to me. He's there, and that's it. So it's like, ever since he changed his look and whatever. It's like there was a time in 2009. I went to a friend's house back in when pay-per-views used to be something that you would actually look forward to monthly. Well, I still look forward to them, but you know what I mean? You had to pay a heftier price, and you usually got together at a friend's house and watched it, whatever. But I remember watching TLC 2009 and the Sheamus John Cena match and thinking there's absolutely no way that Sheamus is going to win this match. And sure enough, he did, due to a fluke table spot that I thought was really, really well done. And then Sheamus won the WWE World title. And then it's like he got that, and he's a 2-time WWE champion. But ever since he got injured and then came back with this new look, I couldn't care any less about him, because he's stale. He's like John Cena. He's like Randy Orton. It's just he needs to go away for a long time and then come back, reinvent himself.
I just think that it's all a matter of who he's in the ring with. I think it boils down to, because what Sheamus is a brawler. It works for now because it's not enough guys on the roster that they would actually book legitimately. Because Cesaro versus Sheamus, all day.
Yeah.
Rusev versus Sheamus, all day. I'll take those because athletic. I mean, because Sheamus is good. It's just that his brute strength emphasizes the fact that he will be in a match with someone hard, strong style or whatever the word you want to use. I think a match between him and Roman Reigns would be pretty good because of their skill set. And Sheamus is not necessarily what he would wrestle circles around him, but they would both hit each other enough to where you could actually see a parallel of styles just clashing. And that's the thing. If Cesaro, yeah, man, that had some legs, but that's it. I mean, it's very limited of a type of guy that would actually be in the ring and complement him. Orton doesn't do it. I think Cena a little bit, but like it's slim pickings. And right now, the next person that I would even actually want to see him in the ring with would be Kevin Owens. Like, that would be fun to watch. But none of those people are available. He's in a tag team. I think it fucking works. I think it's beautiful between the both of them. They need this. This is like this makes me happy to know that they're going to be a tag team and actually at some point going after the titles. Now let's just say they go after the titles while Sheamus is still the Money in the Bank holder, and they get it. So you're gonna have the first time tag team champions. One is a Money in the Bank holder, and that makes things very interesting. Because if he brought the fucking title, let's just say he cashed in and got the title. If he's with that tag team enough, he'll become that much more interesting, and it'd be awesome to see I guess it would be kind of like Briscoe style, where the tag team champions will also have the world champion, and we haven't seen that in quite some time.
I don't know if they'll ever do that again, and like if you put the title or the tag titles on Barrett and Sheamus now, I don't think that's a good idea, because I think you're already doing Sheamus a huge injustice, because if you're not an avid follower of WWE, and even if you are, like every once in a while I forget that Sheamus still has the Money in the Bank, because I don't care about him and he loses too much. It's like that's the problem they've made, or that's the mistake that they've made with their past few Money in the Bank holders, where they lose all the time and then they randomly cash in, and then by the time they do it and they win, it means nothing. And they're going to run into a problem, like if they give Sheamus a tag title and he's also the Money in the Bank holder, chances are is that if he's still a tag team champion when he cashes in, he's losing.
Well,
and I don't think they want to give that impression.
But here's the thing. But what if Wade Barrett comes out before the bell and they both just stomp a mud hole in whoever has it, and that increases his chance of actually winning it? It's an advantage. It's almost like when the New Day and Kofi Kingston and the actual Money in the Bank match when they came out and was like helping Kofi. Is like, well, it's just something that makes things interesting. Not saying that it's the right thing or wrong thing to do, but it definitely makes things interesting that the Money in the Bank holder has a tag team partner that's willing to stomp a mud hole to increase his chances of winning, cashing in successfully. I'm just saying it would be something fresh, be something new. Let's just say if they go with this tag team long enough to make both of them seem pretty relevant, if they're actually like a good force in the tag team division. The only thing that I wanted to mention, I guess outside of that, was what other matches? The Nikki Bella, she lost to Charlotte. Paige finally turns on Charlotte, but that's Monday Night Raw. And then that thing going on, and I got into an argument about who, not necessarily an argument, but with Jake, who would actually, is Charlotte, like there's no number one contender for Charlotte right now. And it wouldn't be Paige because she's been losing to Nikki Bella. If anything, I'm thinking she's going after Nikki. I could see her and Becky Lynch having like a little thing while Charlotte Flair tries to find someone to battle her for the belt. But I was just, all thoughts aside, and I just thought I brought that up. But
the Divas Revolution, I don't know if I've said this on this podcast yet, but the Divas Revolution is dead. They had a chance to do something with it, but it's fucking dead. And they're never going to do anything to resurrect it, so they might as well just stop while they're ahead and just go back to doing what they were doing.
Well, if anything, the best thing they could possibly do is have your Raw girls and then have your SmackDown girls. This Thursday, Team Bad showed up and put a spanking on Natalya. And I was like, all right, I'm good with that. Give them the TV time for SmackDown. There's 9 girls, man. 10 fucking girls. So if you're going to focus on the Divas title, and you want to focus on Paige, you want to focus on, Charlotte, and have them have their feud over there with the Nikki sort of swarming around in the back, the Bellas swarming around in the background, awesome. But Team Bad, and say the Bellas even within that thing, because they could go back and forth, it doesn't matter. But if they can split the Bellas to go between both brands and just keep Team Bad, the SmackDown girls, and keep PCB, the Raw girls, I'm completely fine for that for now, man. But like 10 chicks on Raw, it's just sorry, bro. It's just not going to work for me. And that just
breaking news while we're talking about this. Tom Phillips has announced that Paige versus Brie Bella versus Becky Lynch versus Sasha Banks will take place in the Fatal 4-Way on tonight's Raw. The winner will face Divas champion Charlotte at the November 22nd Survivor Series pay-per-view. So there you go.
So that means Paige is going to win.
Oh, God, I hope not.
Well, I mean, she's the hot one right now, even though she's lost her ass to Nikki Bella twice. But
she's like, I mentioned this last night, she's like the female Big Show to me right now, because you don't know whether she's a face or a heel.
No, she's heel now.
One moment she'll be a heel the next, and it's just dumb.
Well, she plays.
They're doing her a huge injustice by writing her character in this way.
Well, she has this sort of basically AJ Lee thing where she's all
who?
Yeah. This one girl, she used to wear Chucks, where she would sort of be nuts, but at the same time be like girly and like likable, and they're doing the same thing with Paige. And I'm like, we've been there, done that. Now, when she fucking just blasted Becky Lynch, and she put, both in the Rampage, Charlotte, and fucking put Charlotte into PTO, I was like, hell yeah, about time. Now we can just like move forward with her and her fucking character and how much of a hater she is. But they screwed up in the writing because it was Team Bad that was responsible for jacking Natalya.
Yeah.
So they were profiling Paige, and now she's retaliating. The chance is, it's like, see, I didn't do it. It wasn't me in the first place, you bitches. Like, I just feel like now write yourself out of that motherfucking story, okay?
Well, it's like the writers are writing themselves into a hole because one week they do one thing, and then the next week they do something else that completely counteracts what they did the previous week. So it doesn't make any sense. So as far as continuity and all this, but again, we're talking about WWE, and there's a hashtag on Twitter called hashtag WWE Logic because WWE doesn't have any, and it's like I said, one week they'll do one thing, and then the next week they'll do something that completely goes back on what they did the following week. So continuity is not a thing, and it's just something that we have to get used to, especially with the Divas.
And so Brock versus Undertaker, because we're going to do John Cena last and then transition that over to Del Rio.
Okay.
I thought those guys are professionals, man. I was on the edge of my seat the entire match. I don't know about you.
What do you mean professionals? Because they apparently hate each other, yet they can have a great match?
No, they just know how to get in the ring and tell a story.
Oh yeah, that's true.
It's amazing. Like, I mean, you just go over the suplexes and the F5s. You go over the Taker just holding his own, doing what he can. Expose the ring. You got color. Apparently that wasn't supposed to happen. And I think Brock Lesnar and Taker and the chair shot, and they're going to get fined heavily for that. But we haven't heard anything of it.
But okay, the thing is, okay, you say the chair shot wasn't supposed to happen, or the color wasn't supposed to happen, or both.
Both. I think they went in. It's like, you know what? We're fucking Brock Lesnar. We're Brock Lesnar. We're Undertaker, and we can do what the fuck we want.
In a match with a steel that involves a steel cell. This is what bothers me about WWE, and this has bothered me ever since the PG era and the no blood policy has become a thing. Is that whenever, and it's. I'll even go back to when it first started in like 2008. Whenever there was a slight of blood, the match would get stopped. And that would be it. And then there would be a fuck finish because they stopped the match. Mm-hmm. And it made wrestling look like shit. And with blood now, it's like, okay, if you're in a cage, if you get hit in the head with a chair, if you get your face mashed up against a cage hard enough, I got news for you. You're going to bleed the hard way. It's like, okay, I understand that they're trying to get rid of intentional blading.
I think that was a blade.
That to me makes sense.
That was a blade.
To quell on hard way blood is dumb. If blood happens, let it happen.
When he went into that pole, right? He went into the and he didn't really hit it. And all I could sit was like, he's going to bleed. But how are they going to play this off? Because he didn't really hit it. And all I could think is that in his right glove, because he ended up taking that glove off later on in the match, that was the culprit. That a blade was right there on his right around his wrist.
You're talking about what happened on Raw or what happened on...
No, Hell in a Cell.
Because the same thing happened on Raw. And that's what people were talking about, was if there was a blade involved. There was nothing that...
No,
there was nothing questionable about what happened at Hell in a Cell.
Yeah. Well, I thought he bladed himself at Hell in a Cell.
No.
With his left glove, he put it over his forehead after he hit the thing, and then he just started bleeding like hell.
Absolutely
then
not.
He took the glove off. Watch the match again. I mean, if you don't want to watch it, but like just
no. I understand what you're saying, but Brock knows better to not do that. So if that's the policy, if you're not supposed to blade intentionally, they're not going to have him do it, and he's smart enough to know that he's not going to do it.
But at the same time, man, I bet Brock Lesnar not only has like an ego with his fighting, but I bet he has an ego with his wrestling too. And it, like, for damn show, he's not going to walk in and have someone tell him what he can and can't do. And if he does something against policy, then he'll just pay the fine because they pay him fucking nice, and then they'll just give that money back to him any fucking way. But like, this ain't like just some jabroni, man. This is Brock Lesnar. And if there was one guy that can go into a ring and take matter and go vigilante and take like matters into his own hands about how he wants to conduct his match, It's two guys. It's Brock Lesnar and it's Undertaker. I don't see Cena even doing shit like that. I don't even see Randy Orton doing shit like that. Just those two guys. Because they get the biggest paycheck and they're the fucking most respected guys on the roster. Especially in the eyes of Vince, because that's his big money wallet, you know? Cena's his money wallet, but those guys are his big ticket wallets. So I'm thinking it would be more likely for that to happen. And I was just paying attention, just me being, you know, studious and being a little sleuthy and like looking at what it went down. And when he hit that thing, he took his glove and went over his forehead. And then he ended up taking the glove off later. He took the fucking glove, the left glove off. So I'm thinking that blade must still be in there. So he had to take that fuck off to prevent any more cuts to happen. And that's just my theory. I'm not saying that it's, you know, truth. It's just my theory. But, you know, Exposed the Ring. I was listening to Stone Cold podcast, and he was talking about, I'm glad they did that because people get to see what the fuck is under that ring. You got that little thin piece of padding, and you got plywood. So people are taking these bumps. It's not like trampoline down there. It's like straight up wood. And if you hit that fucker wrong, it will fuck you up. I thought that was interesting.
Yep.
And the low blow was a great ending.
I've broken my ribs in a wrestling ring before, and yeah, it's no joke.
And yeah, I thought the low blow was great.
Definitely. A nice callback to their match at SummerSlam.
Well, all the nut shots the Taker gave him.
And I really like this match. I wouldn't, when I was... Before this match happened, I was wondering... And when this match was announced, I was wondering if this match would top the match that they had back in 2003, I believe it was, at No Mercy. Almost 13 years or 12 years to the date that it happened, because No Mercy also took place in October. I was wondering if this match was going to top the match that they had in 2003. I wouldn't necessarily say that it did, but it was a lot better than I expected it to be.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it was.
So, props to them for that, especially 13 years later when their bodies are older and they're not supposed to be able to do much, especially Taker.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like mad respect to him because he puts his body on the line every single time he goes out there.
He's an old fool, man.
Yep.
He's an old fool. And I would just to sort of get through it, but so when he tries to get up, and I was like, oh man, get up, dude, get up, dude, get up, dude. You know, he finally sort of raises up, he finally gets up, he has to do it sort of halfway because his body's just ripped to shreds. He stands up. That part was just beautiful because you see it. You know, you see the Undertaker, you see his age, you see his war-torn body. I think the low blow kept him strong. You know what I'm saying? He was able to get up. Brock Lesnar, he's stumbling like he just got done, you know, getting mauled by a bear. So it didn't make Undertaker look weak, which I thought was a great ending. It was two guys going in. Brock got the low blow in, got the advantage, but he still walked away. He looked pretty hurt. And then when the Wyatts came, no cell Bray with the shiner from the kendo stick, no one came out to save Undertaker. Were you waiting for someone to come out and save Undertaker?
No, not well. It was kind of in the back of my mind that they could have had somebody come out and save the Undertaker. And I know that Jim Ross, I believe on his podcast or in his blog, said that they missed a great opportunity to have somebody come out.
It was the podcast.
Yeah, and save the Undertaker, because they could have taken a younger star and built off of that and then turned them into something great. But yeah, I was expecting somebody to come out, but was I disappointed that it didn't happen? No.
I was thinking Brock was going to come back out, and
it's the Undertaker. He can defend himself, even if he is 50 years old by this point.
And then they beat him down. They stomp a mud hole. They carry him out, which I thought was a rib to a certain extent to the guys, to the Wyatt family, where it's like, take me to my locker room. I'm not walking to my locker room. Take me to my room, you You jabronis. It may look like they were carrying him out, as a ritual, but I still think it was like, yeah, like I'm going to walk to my fucking locker room. Carry me.
That's the biggest nerd thing you've ever said on this podcast.
But isn't it funny though? Like,
no,
it's
not. It's dumb.
It's great. So where does this move forward? Because right now, what is it? Bray Wyatt's talking about he has the souls because that Monday they did the same thing to Kane, the Demon Kane, who's no longer has an office job as corporate Kane. He went out to basically like, yo, you fucked up my brother. You dirty rat. You killed my brother, and he got his ass handed to him and sent to the back as well. Do we see a Survivor Series because we don't even know where the fuck they took him?
I think it's going to be all 4 members of the Wyatt family versus Kane, Undertaker, and then whoever else they get.
Who do you think?
I don't know.
They're talking about Sting, man.
No. I think his career might be over.
Yeah. I'm thinking too.
If not, if he can do one more match, I think he's going to do it at WrestleMania and then be done.
Would it be 4-on-2?
No, they're not going to do that. It would be 4-on-4. It's just a matter of who they decide to get. I could honestly see them calling up Baron Corbin.
Oh, that'd be way too soon. That'd be way too soon.
I know, but I could see them doing it.
I even had a theory that Baron Corbin can actually be the next Undertaker. This is what the earliest.
A lot of people are saying that, but I don't. I
was the first to say it. I remember even talking like Peter and Jake Talks Wrestling, like I think around the 20s when I find out who Baron Corbin is, and I was like, yo man, this guy could be the next. If they did some, I even asked you in a Peter Talks Wrestling with, and you were like, hell no.
Exactly. There's no way. But I've heard people say that, and it's like, no, absolutely not.
Well, it would be fun, but I don't think they wouldn't even know how to write it because I would see it as somewhat of a ritual where the Undertaker would just give his soul to be reborn within Baron Corbin kind of thing. The only problem is that Baron Corbin can't really wrestle to the ability, even a smidget to the ability that Undertaker has, and that would be his biggest.
Well, yeah, because he only had his longest match was like 10 minutes, and it exposed the crap out of him.
Well, I mean, again, he's super young, but I'm just saying it would make for a really cool Lucha Underground type storyline. But this
isn't Lucha Underground.
I know, and at the same time, but there's been zanier fucking storylines written that would suggest weird supernatural kind of stuff, though, especially dealing with the Taker. But let's just say, like, who else would you even fathom outside of bringing up Baron Corbin? Like, that you could even fathom?
I can't think of anybody on the current roster right now.
My first would be Mark Henry.
Why?
Because he's old. He's old school. He's been there longer than everyone else, and I think him just going like, man, I've been in this business very long, and I've seen your career. What they did to you won't right. I want to team up and take those young bucks out. Just a classic. He would make a classic tag team member. And then the next person I would even think that would join would be Jericho.
That would be weird.
It wouldn't be young guys. I just don't see it being. I see it being like kind of established guys versus the upstarts.
I don't know if they would want to do that because we've seen that story a million times where they get a bunch of veterans.
Big Show could be in there. How about Big Show, Mark Henry, Undertaker, and Kane?
Absolutely not.
You heard it here first, though. If they went that route, you heard it here first.
Well, and that's fine, but the Big Show being there doesn't make any sense, and Mark Henry being there doesn't make any sense. Because I wouldn't mind Mark Henry so much, but Big Show being involved in anything of that value up to this point is pointless.
Well, it would be him and Braun Strowman, just to see those two lugs go at it.
But I don't want to see that. I have no desire to see that at all.
Well, you will only see glimpses of it. I don't know. I just think it would be a nice paced match with people who've been in the business not as long as the Taker, but longer than everyone else compared to. And the same with Mark Henry. So, I just look at it for what it is. So you don't have anything.
I don't know who they could put with. I don't know who they could put with Undertaker and Kane to pull this match off. That would make sense. Honestly, I don't. I haven't the slightest clue of who they could put with them.
Fuck around and bring back Nash.
There's a article because I'm trying to figure out like what people are even saying on the internet because I don't sit at my computer and read dirt sheets because I just don't have the time. I hate reading stuff on the internet. But there is a article on whatculture.com, and it says that there is currently a rumor floating around that Braun Strowman is penciled in as Taker's opponent for WrestleMania 22 or 32, which would suck.
Don't buy into that shit.
I'm not going to. Oh, okay, so this fucking article is pointless because I was looking for who potentially could team with the Undertaker, but
they're talking Sting. Like that's the one thing that I hear the most of, Sting. And I'm like, shut up. Stop. Unless like Sting joins and then he ends up turning on the Undertaker. Undertaker ends up screwing him over, and then they set up for this potential WrestleMania 32 match that everybody wants to see. Yeah. I don't want to see it, but everyone else wants to see it. Knowing the WWE, they're probably just throwing the fucking Dudley Boys.
That's a rumor that I could see coming true.
It would be so hilarious. But yeah, so moving forward, I think the only thing that's left, and then we try to wrap this up. I think we'll just take out the number one contender thing, just sort of wrap it up. But let's talk about the John Cena, Alberto Del Rio. Now, sitting down and watching this, did you watch live?
Yeah, I always watch live.
Okay.
Because I live tweet from 2 accounts, so.
Okay. So, who did you suspect was coming out? Who did we guess? I guess like Daniel Bryan, I think. Or one of the Wyatts to decimate
Cena.
Cena.
Can't remember who I said, but it definitely wasn't Del Rio, and the rumor of Del Rio coming back, I didn't buy at all.
I didn't buy it worth a fuck. So,
yeah.
I have a video. Did you see my video, my reaction?
No, I don't watch reaction videos.
Well, watch my fucking reaction video.
No, because they're dumb.
They're not.
I don't care whose reaction video
stop
it is.
Being
stupid.
Stop being a humbug right now. At some point, you're going to get a good laugh. It's me. I'm not saying go look at someone else's. I'm your fucking co-host for this goddamn podcast, for crying out loud. Just check it out, man. It's very funny. Well, anyway, I'm sitting there, and I turn to the camera and go, oh, this will be fucking, because Zeb Coulter comes out, which was like, what? Is he going to challenge for the U.S. Championship? And then I was thinking, oh, man, there's going to be swagger. And then he goes, Alberto, I fucking flip. I flip. I was like, oh, shit. And my neighbors were downstairs, like, I guess getting into their car, I had my window open, and they probably thought I had lost my mind.
Well, you have, so.
Oh. So what was your reaction? You were like, yeah, okay, whatever.
No, I was kind of like, I thought it was cool. Like, okay, you know this, and everybody else who listens to this podcast probably knows this. Alberto Al Patron or Del Rio, whatever you want to call him, is my favorite wrestler in wrestling right now.
He's in your profile of this podcast.
Exactly. And I would have much rather him stay in AAA than him come back to WWE. Just because I thought there was more there that he could do. I'm glad that he's back in WWE, but for him, because the money is good, and I heard he got a very lucrative deal to come back.
Yeah.
But the problem I'm hearing, and a lot of people are saying, I don't necessarily think this.
And work less,
but
too,
a lot of people are saying that he's a hypocrite for even coming back.
I don't think he's a hypocrite for coming back.
I don't either, but a lot of people think that, he went sour on WWE because of the incident that happened prior to him.
No, he got fired.
Fired.
Yeah.
And then he said that something that he didn't want to work for them again. And then fast forward, not even, because he left last year in December. And now 10 months later, we're here and he's back. He's been the AAA Mega Champion ever since getting released from WWE because he won it in December. So
I guess
a lot of people are saying that he is a hypocrite for even entertaining the idea of coming back. But I got news for you. He's got a family. He's got a wife and he's got kids. He's got to feed his family. So he's going to do whatever he can do in order to do that.
Well, I'm not going to Kevin Owens the guy.
And that's the bottom line.
I'm just going to say this about anyone who has anything to say about anyone's life decisions that has nothing to do with you. You could call him a hypocrite. You know what? Maybe he is a hypocrite. Maybe he is. I think he has every right to be, if that's the case. Once that check comes, regardless of if maybe he could be a solo guy with like a bachelor. When you look at numbers, you look at a piece of paper, you look at a bunch of zeros, and you look at your, what's best for you, what's in your best interest. That's it. Just bottom line. Hey, coming back here is in my best interest. Regardless of what I said, whatever shoot videos or interviews I had, they gave me this opportunity. And regardless, all right, I'll be a hypocrite. I'm going back because, you know what? This is in my best interest. He's completely entitled to it, just like anyone else. When people start talking about people like that, like as if they know the person and that they can make the decisions for them, I go like, dude, I just tune you out. Like if I hear someone says that, if I would have heard someone, because I guess I didn't know people were like trying to call him out on how much of a hypocrite he was. But even if I did, I would have just tuned that shit out because it's like pointless. You and your fucking Cheetos sitting in a corner, fingers all orange, with a fucking joystick in your hand, your cock in your other hand, and you're going to talk about how someone's life is being handled. And
thanks for the visual.
A hypocrite? No, I was just saying, these fucking nerds, these fucking marks, like, fuck, I don't care what you think of this person. This person left for a reason, and he left and became hot as fucking lava. And he saw an opportunity to come back, and he took it. I would have done it. You would have done it. Everyone would have done it. Those same people with this, oh, you're such a hypocrite. Fuck you, man. Just if you're listening and you're one of those people, and I would like for you to listen to the podcast further, but man, fuck you. Like, just let the person live their life, all right? So, and so he goes into the match against John Cena. And he goes in, is a relatively short match. He doesn't throw his armbar in. He was going to get the win, but he doesn't get the armbar in. I think he slaps his arm with the C to do it. I think it gets reversed, but he wins with a big kick to the face. 1, 2, 3 victory. Now, how did you feel about that victory?
I lost my damn mind. Like, I don't normally react. To like wrestling like that, but I thought it was absolutely amazing.
That way, right?
He came back and like, when Del Rio was announced as the opponent, I'm like, okay, there's no way he's going to win because every match I've ever seen Del Rio and John Cena in, John Cena always wins.
Or Punk, because Punk was a wedge in there between at some point.
Who?
Punk.
Who's that?
This guy from I think.
Come on, stop breaking kayfabe on our own podcast.
Dude, I'm sorry, man. I did it twice, man. I did it fucking twice.
I know.
I'm slipping. You didn't have. I didn't have the day off. How about that?
But so anyway, no, I thought it was great. Like, I never thought Cena and Del Rio have really had great matches, and this match wasn't particularly great.
It wasn't.
I can't say that fucking word. But there's matches where they don't have to be good. Like, okay, if you go back, and this is kind of a stretch, but like, okay, Taker Lesnar from WrestleMania 30, that match sucked. But the moment of Brock Lesnar breaking the streak is what made that match. It's the only thing people talk about. And this match between Del Rio and Cena wasn't great, but the only thing that people were going to talk about at the end of it was the fact that Del Rio beat Cena.
But a guy who kicks out of like 2 F5s, a guy who kicks out of a pedigree, a guy who kicks out of a fucking go to sleep, a guy who kicks out of all this stuff, and he kicks out of just a kick to the face. Now,
yeah, that kind of took me back a little bit.
And then, just keep selling that kick. I mean, he just stomped on Neville's face. That was pretty brutal.
Yeah.
So maybe his feet are like
lethal weapons.
Yes, I mean, keep selling that kick. Just keep selling it because he hasn't thrown on the arm bar yet. He hasn't thrown it on yet, and if he was going to get the win, he wasn't going to get an armbar tap out by Cena because Cena does not give up. I mean, yeah. I remember hearing that on the last week's Shake Them Ropes, and I thought it was something that I was like, yeah, he has a point. Like, he didn't throw the armbar, but he hasn't thrown it on yet. So maybe they're holding it off for when he does to get the real big pop. Right now, he's just stomping and kicking at motherfuckers. But yeah, I was very...
One thing too I want to mention about Del Rio quick as well is that I'm glad that they put him with Zeb Coulter because he's a good promo guy, but he needs somebody else to help him connect with an audience. So I'm glad that they're giving him a mouthpiece. The thing is, though, okay, I don't know. He was very interesting in AAA / Lucha Underground. I don't know how interesting he will be in WWE going forward.
You hit the magic.
And if he's not, it's not his fault. It's on the writers.
I know. And you hit it right on the button. I'm sitting here going like, Mex-American, like what? So you go from Lucha Underground and being like, creative there and them writing you this awesome script, putting you in this awesome sort of position as a character. And now you're doing this. I'm just like, dude, this better make sense after a while.
Yeah.
This better make sense because if you're going to pay this guy a bunch of money, if you're going to put him over Cena, put the U.S. belt on him, and that U.S. belt, whatever. I never saw that U.S. belt getting any prestige, really. It was just all about Cena to me.
Yeah.
Jake's went up and down.
I think Cena was trying to do something with it in the long run, but I don't think that
it was all
really
about
helped
Cena.
It all that much.
It was just about Cena. That whole fucking thing. And Jake's were up and down that U.S. belt is back to prestige. I'm like,
No, absolutely not. And especially when it had a chance to be, but the Intercontinental title is always going to be more prestigious than the U.S. title. And the reason being is that the U.S. title came from WCW.
Yep.
And anything that ever came from WCW, you look at the world title, you look at the U.S. title, it's like they're never going to be... The U.S. title or the world title was never at any point more prestigious than the WWE title, even though they wanted you to think it was at one point when Triple H had it on Raw. Forever, by the way. But, and it's like this in the same vein. The WWE Intercontinental title will never be any less prestigious than the U.S. title because the U.S. title came from WCW, and anything that came from WCW automatically cannot be any greater than something that was a WWE creation.
That big gold, I knew that big gold didn't mean shit anymore. When you remember when John Cena had the big, he had the injury. This was like 2 years ago, and he brought everybody out. Who's going to get a shot at my belt? And it's like, rather than write up a storyline, the storyline itself was like, I'm just going to choose a guy, right?
Well, especially like when they...
Oh, wait, check it out. And then he chooses Daniel Bryan, right?
Yeah.
Like, right up on that stage was Del Rio holding that big gold. And I was like, oh, man, this belt ain't shit no more. And, like, I always was like, man, I hate to see that big belt lose its prestige. And then he came out with, when John Cena made his announcement, he was out there standing right there with that sumbitch around his waist. I go like, what?
Yeah.
And I was like, that's it. It's a wrap.
Another thing that really jumps out about me as far as with the world title not meaning much, when Batista had to vacate the title due to injury, they had Khali, or no, maybe it was, I can't remember if it was Kurt Angle or Batista, but they had Khali win it in the Battle Royal, for God's sakes.
Well, that was just the wrong person to put it on.
Yeah. They had to at that point because they had nobody else, but still, it was because Batista got injured, then Angle got injured. So they had to put it on somebody, and he just happened to be there, but it was a bad choice and a bad way to do it.
Yeah. Then.
One thing I want to mention before we get too off track.
Yeah, you wanted to mention the AAA stuff.
Yeah, the Del Rio situation and AAA. Apparently, a lot of people thought that there was some agreement with AAA that he would, and WWE, that, okay, he would sign this WWE contract and Del Rio is supposed to come back and drop the AAA Mega Championship at some point. And Del Rio has every intention on going and doing that and dropping the AAA Mega Championship to the person who would beat him for the title, which is probably going to be Brian Cage. But WWE will not let him do it. So chances, at least not in a match, so chances are that AAA, all you're going to see there is Del Rio come back as Alberto El Patron one more time and hand the belt over to, I can't remember her name, but the owner of AAA.
So, I mean, do you think he'd even get on AAA television anymore? I mean, I'm thinking, when I heard the news that he was going to, that the WWE denied him, going back and basically dropping the strap, I was just thinking altogether that he was just going to abandon the promotion altogether. There
is a slight possibility that they will let him go back, be shown on TV.
They're going to boo him out the building.
No, they won't. No, not in Mexico. They won't do that. But they will most likely let him come back and hand the belt over to the owner of AAA, which I can't remember her name right now. But that's not important to the situation. But that's probably all we're going to get.
Yeah, I was just thinking all around. They're like, nah, you good. They're figured out. But if he went over it, he'd be like, what? What would he say? He'd be like, I
don't think they would let him say anything. I think that he would go over,
and then someone to come out and talk shit to him. He won't get a word in.
I think what he would do is the chick that owns AAA, and again, I can't remember her name, so I apologize. Her last name is Pena. I can't remember her first name, because she's the wife of the late Antonio, who founded AAA. But she would probably be in the ring. He would come out and hand her the belts, and that would be it. There wouldn't be any other fanfare. There wouldn't be a wrestler like Brian Cage who came out and did something to him.
It couldn't.
because WWE will not allow that to happen.
No physical anything.
Because if there was any chance of that happening, if WWE would allow that to happen, you know that Brian Cage would come out and decimate El Patron, and then they would write him off TV, and then Brian Cage would probably be the next champion. He probably still will be the next champion, but it depends like how they go about doing it. Because right now they've found themselves in a situation and it's not their fault.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, just go in, hand the belt, give them a big hug, and then walk out.
Yep. Pretty much.
Viva Del Rio. Viva Del Rio. Like that just, yeah. That'd be fun. That'd be fun. We'll see what happens. I just hope they don't fuck up whatever moving forward.
The woman that owns AAA, the proprietor of AAA, is Maricela Pena, is her name.
Okay, because I was about to make a joke. It would be a bad joke. I was just like, let's just call her Maria.
No, it's Maricela Pena. Is the wife of Antonio. Antonio died a while ago, and now she is the rightful owner of that company.
She's like the Dixie Carter.
Yeah, but she's a lot smarter than Dixie Carter.
Yeah, you think?
Because Dixie Carter doesn't have a brain in her head. So,
well, the difference between, I would say, this Marcella and Dixie is that the groundwork is made. It's on autopilot. You know, I guess you can make some horrible decisions, but I imagine this dude Antonio that died probably still has a really good staff. Of people to protect, to continue to protect, and if she's the rightful owner, they're in her ear telling her the right things to do. And Dixie Carter, she just upstarted that shit on her own, and then she had people like.
Well, no, she came in because of Panda Energy.
Yeah, I'm just saying
because Panda Energy took over that company.
Yeah, but
and then she was the rightful owner because reasons. But
I'm saying the difference is that she came in as an upstart and she had the wrong people in her ear, which basically it didn't have a foundation of how it could prosper.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying. That's the point I was making. Like one has a fucking set in stone legacy that will continue, and then the other one had a really shady one that led to its demise. So let's talk about Raw.
Okay.
I guess moving forward, because Hell in a Cell was probably the biggest blow off I've seen in quite some time.
Yep.
Like, everything got blown off. Everything. They's like, fuck this tabula rasa. We're just gonna clean slate. Let's move forward. And I think the only other person that even said anything that reflected their previous feud was Roman Reigns on Thursday. Last Thursday SmackDown. He mentions, I just whooped up on fucking Bray Wyatt. Now it's time to move forward. I'm the number one contender.
Why do you always mention SmackDown? You remember what I always say?
Because I do a fucking podcast on SmackDown.
Why? It's a waste of time.
It's not a waste.
If it happens on SmackDown, it doesn't really happen.
You're a real jerk. If it happens on this podcast, it don't fucking happen. If it comes out your mouth on this podcast, it doesn't happen. It's not been said. But he came out. He said something about his previous thing. Right? He's the number one contender. But I was just saying, do you find that weird that no one has said any? The Dudley Boys hasn't said anything. How they got screwed out of a title. Ryback hasn't mentioned how he lost to Kevin Owens. I guess Kane isn't around now to talk about how he lost to Rollins. I think Rollins mentioned about how he beat him. Maybe he did. And Brock and Taker's not around, so that. I don't think Charlotte mentioned how she beat Nikki Bella.
No.
So it's just weird. So Roman Reigns is the only guy who has liberty to talk about their previous one, but everyone just moved forward. Fresh matchups, everything moving forward. But I guess the topic of discussion is Roman Reigns winning the Fatal 4-Way.
Which, like I said earlier, if you went into this whole thing on Raw and thought that anybody but Roman Reigns was going to win this, you need to stop watching wrestling right now.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts on that? Like, do you think he finally gets the belt? Do you finally gets the belt? Is Ambrose going to get in the way? Is this going to be the big turn finally?
Okay, there's something I brought up on the on Eyes on the Ring last night, and there's a possibility, and everyone's been clamoring for a Shield triple threat match. And the way they could do it is if Dean Ambrose turns on Roman Reigns, and then you get that match. Or they could do it where, and I also mentioned this, where they still have it be a one-on-one match. Dean Ambrose runs in, you think he's going to attack Seth Rollins, and he attacks Roman Reigns, and then Seth Rollins would retain the title. I do not think that Roman Reigns is going to win the title, nor do I want him to. If he does, that's fine. This whole thing, like, okay, The Rock, when he won his first WWE title, it was at Survivor Series 1998 during the Deadly Game tournament. And Roman Reigns, Survivor Series 2015, if he wins, then he will do what his cousin did before him and win his first WWE title at the same pay-per-view. I could see WWE going that route and telling that story, but I honestly don't want it to happen, because I still am holding out hope that Seth Rollins will hold the title and break that one guy's record that we don't speak of on this podcast.
Mm-hmm. That was something I spoke of
yep.
at the beginning. But, yeah, I'm just sick of Roman Reigns getting the spot to win and then getting screwed.
And he's already New Cena, and I don't like it. And he hasn't even had the title yet.
He's not the New Cena yet. He's nowhere close. He's nowhere close. He's being positioned, but he's nowhere close. Until that fucking, seriously, because this is something I spoke about on, the last Peter and Jake Talks Wrestling. It's about, polarizing. The new superstar of the WWE has to be polarizing. And as soon as you start hearing, let's go Roman sucks, that's when he's going to be the next Cena. There's nothing else.
They're already doing that.
Fans
are already doing that.
I can't hear it. I haven't heard it yet. It hasn't been that prevalent, it seems. If you probably got like some knuckleheads in the crowd that are doing it, but in terms of just the overwhelming taking of the audio and everything, just everyone going like that. Nah, that hasn't happened yet. So until that becomes,
I disagree, but that's fine.
But at the same time, anytime he walks out, because something that I've noticed with Roman Reigns is that when he comes through that fucking crowd, there's an overwhelming excitement, right? He gets into the ring and he does something else, but like comparative to Cena, it's Armageddon of back and forth. We don't get that so much with Roman Reigns. If you hear some naysayers in the crowd, that's only some of them. I mean, the general consensus is that he's very much loved within any room that he walks into. If you talk about, I don't even rule in the smart marks. I just want to talk about the actual crowd itself. They are fucking in love with Roman Reigns. So if there's a groundswell of contention of Roman Reigns, and every time he comes out, you hear, let's go Roman sucks, and you're overwhelmed by it, to where the commentating has to actually like mention it each time and then hear them make excuses, then yeah, that's when he's Cena. That's exactly when he becomes Cena. And you're gonna see fucking you hear about Vince McMahon fucking shitting his pants with happiness.
And why would he do that? Well, besides the fact that he's old.
I know, right? It all depends.
Hilarious.
Oh boy, because that's what I just feel like. That's the next superstar, just someone who's polarizing.
So you think no matter what, Roman Reigns is the next guy that they go with?
They're still waiting for him to become more of a polarizing figure.
See, and okay, I think they're waiting on that, but honestly, I think the next guy that they should go with, and I don't even like saying this because I don't like this guy, but Dean Ambrose.
Yeah.
He's already got that connection, and like me, I could give two fucks about him, but he's already got that overwhelming fan base and that connection where
maybe
he's not getting booed and cheered, but he gets like the biggest reaction. He gets like a Stone Cold reaction every time he comes out. Like not to that level.
Damn, dude.
Not to that level, but
chill.
No, I'm not saying okay. Not to the level that Stone Cold got, but in this day and age, it's the closest thing you're going to get.
Nowhere close. This guy couldn't put
No, I'm not saying it's nowhere close, but I'm saying in this day and age with this crop of superstars, it's the closest thing, even though it's not close at all.
I don't see Ambrose being responsible for putting any ass in any seat in any arena.
Like I said, the Dean Ambrose hater in me wants to agree, but something...
There's no hating about that. That's
in me
fact.
Says there's something there.
There's nothing about that guy. There's nothing about that guy that could put that fucking company on his back and he carry it to the promised land. No way in hell. No way in hell. No way. I mean, he could be just a badass. He could be like, he could be a, second fiddle guy. But like the guy, Lord no. Lord no. I just can't see it. I mean, I think he should be given a shot at some point. He should be given his due because he has been working his ass off, and I feel like the creative hasn't really done him any favors. Losing all those matches to Bray Wyatt didn't do him any favors either. But no way, Jose. And look at a guy like Cesaro who deserves a push.
Cesaro, though, okay, did you listen to the last... you said you listened to Shake Them Ropes, right?
Yep.
They brought up a great point. Whereas Cesaro, yeah, he's a great wrestler, but every time they've given him
the spotlight,
an opportunity to shine, he doesn't do it.
Yeah. The whole thing with the sign and him sort of walking into the corner. Yeah, yep. It made perfect sense. It made perfect sense. I was very much disappointed. When I saw it, I was thinking I was the only one that thought that. Like, what is he doing, like, sitting in the corner? Because as soon as he gave him the thing and he kind of, like, slouched in the corner to raise it up, they cut it. They just... I was like, yeah, man, that was like his moment.
They realized that, and Kevin Dunn probably realized that was his moment to do what he was supposed to do, and he didn't do what they wanted him to.
Yeah.
Or what they expected of him.
Yeah. So I was like, damn, what a wasted opportunity, because even last Raw, I mean, like his match against, who did he go up against?
Owens, I think.
Yeah, he went up against Owens, and then Thursday he went up against somebody on Thursday. Again, it was just like the guy just knows how to put on a great show, but it's going to take him some time to really step into this, become less modest, I guess.
Yeah, well, and for now, Vince McMahon is completely right with what he said about Cesaro and not being able to connect, because I see it.
Yeah.
I see what he's talking about, even though I still think Vince McMahon is nuts. But I definitely see what he's talking about, and I hope that Cesaro in time will prove him wrong.
Well, you don't see the racist part of what Vince McMahon sees at all.
Well, yeah, but like I'm saying, as far
not
as
racist, but like xenophobe.
I'm saying as far as like connecting, with an audience, I don't see that yet.
Yeah,
there's a potential for that to happen, but right now it's not there.
And
his whole thing is, Vince McMahon's whole thing is, well, he's Swiss, he doesn't connect.
Yeah, that's
that, and the other, and it's like, well, if you would not be a racist asshole and just say he doesn't connect because of this or because of that,
well,
it's not
is pretty
because he's
bold.
Swiss.
How about xenophobic? That's the word I was looking for. Because you look at a guy like Daniel Bryan, that he saw the same exact thing. Okay, this guy can get in there, he can work his ass off. But what is that moment? Where is that moment? And that moment for him is when he turned on the Wyatts, when he climbed to the top of the cage. That was his moment. And
that
crowd
went nuts.
Oh man, and Kevin Dunn gave him that shot. You know, like, boom, there it is. There it is. There it is. And I put like an intro on the YouTube, you know, for Peter and Jake Talks Wrestling, the Buddha monks in the trunk, turn the bass up. You know, like I spliced together some images, and the last image is that actual shot of Daniel Bryan on top of the cage, going yes, yes, yes. And that's the Cesaro moment. He's going to need that moment. And if he's written into a situation where he can have that moment, so be it. But like, I think there has to be that moment prior to where it seems like there's a glimpse of potential, you know, to be that star. In the ring, yes, great, it's awesome, but it's more. You gotta have them smelling what you're cooking, if I could put it in any other term, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. But my whole thing about Reigns is maybe he wins the title, maybe he doesn't. It's everything is so up in the air that and the whole Dean Ambrose, and that was another thing off of Shake Them Ropes, is that the guy was like, I think it's time for us to sort of put aside the idea of Dean Ambrose turning on him. Let's just give up on that idea, okay? And let everything happen organically. And I couldn't agree more. And I have no idea of if they're going to have Seth Rollins drop the strap or not, which makes this match intriguing to me moving forward for Survivor Series. That alone, it's this huge gray area, because I think I don't think they're going to know what to do until Gorilla. You know? I think it's going to be one of those things. And that's intriguing to me. That's the only thing that's intriguing to me. So I'm going to play the naive, you know, as you would call them, casual, moving forward into whatever feud this is going to become.
See, and I can never do that.
I just hope,
because I've been watching wrestling for 27 years, and I can never like put myself in the shoes of a casual viewer, because I'm not.
No, but like, it's just like, hey, you can't be on 11 all the time. You got to bring it down to 8, 7 sometime, and just enjoy the show. I can do it. I mean, I'm definitely going to do it. I'm not going to invest into a lot of speculation and fantasy and all that stuff. I'm like, okay, this is the one time I'm gonna just see this bitch play out.
Yeah.
And whatever decision they made, that's when I get back into the whole fantasy booking or speculation fold. I just want to sit back and Mr. Kick Slap Punch Kick Slap. You know, he's not gonna pull me in because of his wrestling ability, by all means, but it makes for an intriguing story, because this is the Roman Reigns show now that Cena's gone. And I just want to see, with these 6 weeks, well, now 5, that he has this opportunity to become the guy, or test the waters on him becoming the future guy. Then I just want to see it play out. I just hope that at some point we get some emotion from him. That's it. That's it. Give me some fucking emotion. Give me some emotion, man. Don't give me no fake ass, like, you want to go to war type shit. I just want to see him really bothered and going up against Seth as something that's just been eating at his soul, and just him becoming the champion, and just like, at any cost, even like when Dean Ambrose was like, I don't care, you could be standing in a line at the KNW, I'm gonna be right there breathing down your neck. You know, that's what Roman Reigns should be. You know,
but that never happened.
Yeah, that too. But I'm just saying,
they forgot about it.
I know, but just
what I will say about Roman Reigns though is that with Cena gone, okay, Roman Reigns, if they want him to be the next guy...
By the way, you get the last word.
Okay. If they want John Cena, or if not John Cena, if they want Roman Reigns to be the last guy, or the next guy, if I can fucking talk, they want him to be the next guy or the next Cena or the next superstar, the next guy that they build the company around, then between now and when John Cena comes back, Roman Reigns has to do something. He's got to step his game up and show the company that he's capable of doing exactly that. Stepping up his game and being the guy in the absence of John Cena. Because once John Cena comes back, if Roman Reigns hasn't stepped up his game, then he's going to be an afterthought once again.
Yep. Start from the bottom.
Yep. And so, to me, they've been trying to build Roman Reigns as organically as possible, and they force it like crazy. But to me, this is Roman Reigns' last chance to be a superstar. If he wants to be that polarizing figure that WWE wants him to be, then in the next 5 weeks during John Cena's absence, he's got to show them that and show them that he can do it in the long run. Because if he can't get it done in 5 weeks, he can't get it done in 5 years or in 15 years.
Some guys are so hungry they could do that shit in 5 hours.
Yeah. But
you know, 5 minutes. You know, like that's the hunger in a lot of wrestlers. You know,
and he's got that, but I just don't like. It doesn't translate.
I think he has desire. I think he has desire. I think he has interest, but I don't think he has hunger.
Yeah.
And I'm all like Skip Bayless over here to make that kind of a statement. I hate when people make statements like that, but like it's just goes to show how he's been presenting himself. I told you have the last word, but
yeah.
You definitely make a valid point. But let's go ahead and wrap this thing up, man.
All right.
This was actually a really this is one of our best conversations, man.
I agree. We're getting better and better at this.
What? Go ahead and get your plugs in.
All right. You can follow me on Twitter at Headliner5. Follow Eyes on the Ring at Eyes on the Ring. Of course, I live tweet there and my accounts every Monday for Raw, live as well on pay-per-views. Follow or go to eyesonthering.com. I didn't do an ROH review this week because, again, it was Halloween and I was lazy, so I just didn't do it. But you can read all the stuff that's up there. And then pick up a shirt at darts.spreadshirt.com. And that is pretty much all I have.
All right. Yeah, man. PJTW Central on Twitter. Again, this is episode 15 of the Neu Daye Podcast. Want to thank you guys for checking this shit out. Again, you can catch me at PJTW Central. You can listen to all of the PJTW Central content, whether it's the Neu Daye Podcast, whether it's Peter and Jake Talks Wrestling, whether it's Peter Talks SmackDown. You can listen on SoundCloud. You can listen on Stitcher Radio. Whatever you listen to now, you listen on iTunes, and now you can listen on Podbean. I got a Podbean account, bro. So
what the hell is Podbean?
It's just another avenue to listen, have your podcast listened to.
Oh, weird.
Yeah. And then I'm gonna try to go with Tuned In next. I need to fuck with Blog Talk. I need to finally get a Blog Talk and see.
No, you don't. Blog Talk sucks.
No, but I'm not gonna go live.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I would just.
Well, then if you're not gonna go live, then yeah, do it. But Blog Talk Radio is garbage.
Oh, well, I mean, if it doesn't cost me an arm and a leg, I'm just gonna do it.
Well, I think it costs like. Because for the guy who runs the Elite Podcast Network, who has the account and everything,
the Vince McMahon of Eyes on the Ring,
yeah, it costs $100 a year.
See, I just paid that for Podbean.
Okay,
yeah.
So you might be having to pay the exact same amount for Blog Talk if you're willing to do it.
Yeah, not now. I mean, I guess later on. I mean, it's no rush. Podbean. Yeah. I'm gonna sit on just those for a while. Until things expand, because I need to invest more money in my T-shirts. I just bought some T-shirts for printing before coming on here, so I'm gonna have to cipher out money in that respect. But so between PJTW Central content and Eyes on the Ring and the Elite Podcast, do us all a favor. You can follow us on Twitter. You can also like our individual podcasts. This podcast, you can like it, thumbs up, heart, whatever. Leave a comment if you hear something you want to dispute or to agree with. Just leave a comment on any of the respective mediums, and also YouTube. Leave a message. And
one thing I just want to mention too, Stitcher, you can find us at Elite Podcast Net.
Yes, and favorite that shit. Put it in your even this one. They put that shit in your favorites playlist, and then you can also share. Hit that fucking swirly button, the recycle button. You can hit the thumbs up thing. You can hit that little box with an arrow sticking up and just hit share onto all your social medias. Whether if you do have an account with SoundCloud, you can share it again on there. You can share it on your Facebook, share it on your Twitter. You can Pinterest that motherfucker. You can throw it on your Tumblr. You can do any and all these things. You can, man. You can fucking do it. Just do it, man. And we would appreciate that shit much greatly. Especially when you thumbs up, the logarithms, say, hey, these guys are good, and it drifts up to the top. So when people are looking for wrestling podcasts, our show up. So that's my plug for my side of this New Day shindig. You got anything you want to say before we go?
Not really. Just hoping Raw is good and that it's as good as last week's show. But I'm not holding out any high hopes, so we will see.
Yeah, I'm not watching live. I'm actually going to watch the Panthers play the Colts. And I got company coming up.
I would rather watch paint dry than watch that game. So.
Oh, dude, whatever, man. You would watch paint dry if you just had free time anyway. But I'm going to watch it tomorrow, and then I'll throw my recap up before I carry on with my Tuesday evening. But nevertheless, thank you so much, Nathan, for showing up, and we'll be back for episode 16 next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. And until then, watch out for those foreign objects, sucker. Peace.